all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in his nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face. Then the lover with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then the soldier, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel. Then the justice, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with his spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank and big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble. Last scene of all, to end this strange eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
As I remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed me by will but poor 1,000 crowns. And as thou sayest, charge my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jacques, he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his profit. As for my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that of the keeping for a gentleman of my birth, that differs not from the stalling of an ox? But I, his brother, gain nothing under him but growth. I will no longer endure it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. I'm not taught to make anything.
What mar you then, sir?
Marry, sir, I am helping you to mar that which God made, a poor unworthy brother of yours with idleness.
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well, in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
I, better than him I am before knows me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better in that you are the firstborn, but I have as much of my father in me as you.
What, boy?
Come, elder brother, you are too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Sir Rosalind de Bois, and wert thou not my brother, I will not take thy hand from thy throat till thy other had pulled thy tongue for saying so.
Sweet masters, be patient. For your father's remembrance, be at accord.
Let me go, I say.
I will not till I please. You've treated me like a peasant. Therefore, allow me my such exercises to become a gentleman, or give me my poor lottery my father left me by testament.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? You will have some part of your will. I pray you leave me. Holla, Dennis!
Calls your worship!
Was not Charles, the Duke's wrestler, here to speak with me?
Yes, so please you, he is here at the door and importance access to you.
Let him in.
Good morrow, your worship.
Charles, what is the new news at the new court?
That is, the old duke is banished by his younger brother, the new duke, and 3 or 4 of his loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
He is at the court, and no less beloved of her uncle than his own daughter, and never two ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old duke live?
They say he's already in the forest of Arden, and a many merry men with him.
What? You wrestle tomorrow before the new duke?
Marry, do I, sir? And I came to acquaint you with a matter. I am given to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath disposition to come in disguise against me to try to fall. Tomorrow, sir, I will wrestle for my credit.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. For I assure thee, and with almost tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living.
I am heartily glad I came hither to you. If he come tomorrow, I will give him his payment.
Farewell, good Charles. Now will I stir this gamester. I hope I shall see an end of him, for my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet, my cuz, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of, and would you yet I were merrier. Unless you can teach me how to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, the Duke, thy father, had banished thy uncle, the Duke, my father, so hadst thou still been with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father as mine own. So wouldst thou, if the truth of thy love were so as righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
From henceforth I will, cuz. And devise sport. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, I prithee do, to make sport withal. But love no man in good earnest, nor no further in sport, so thou in clear blush mayest in honor come off again. How now, whither wander you?
Yo, mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by my honor, but I was bid to come for you.
Look, here comes Madame LeBeau
with her mouth full of news.
Beau, what's the news?
Yet, tell us the matter of this wrestling.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I could match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills on their necks, be it known unto all men by these presents.
The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which in a moment Charles threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, that there is little hope of life in him.
Alas! Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must if you stay here, for here is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Yonder, sure they are coming. Let us stay now and see it. Alas, he is too young, yet he looks successfully.
How now, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it. I can tell you, there is such odds in the man. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, good Madame Lebeau.
Do so. I'll not be by.
Monsieur the Challenger, the princess calls for you.
I attend them with all respect and duty.
Young sir, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess. He is the general challenger. I come but in as others do, to try with him the strength of my youth.
Young gentlemen, we beg you for your own sake to give over this attempt. Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized.
I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my tribe.
Oh, the little strength I have, I wouldn't were with you.
And mine to eke out hers. Where is this gallant youth that's so demonstrous to lie with his mother?
Ready, madame? He hath it in a more modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
Round one.
Now Hercules be thy speed.
Why would I were invisible to catch the strong fellow by the leg?
Young man. Oh, excellent young man.
1, 2, 3.
No more! No more! No more! No more! No more!
Yes, I beseech you, my grace. I'm not yet well breathed.
How dost thou, Charles?
She cannot speak, my lord.
Bear her away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Rowland de Boys.
Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed, hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well.
I'm more proud to be Sir Rowland's son, his youngest son.
Sir, you are well deserved. Gentlemen, wear this for me. One out of suit of fortune that could give more, but that her hand lacks means. Shall we go, Cuz?
Aye.
Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
I not say I thank you?
Did you call, sir?
Shall we go, Cuz?
I'm with you. Fare you well.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urges conference. Thou art overthrown.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place. Albeit you have deserved high commendation, yet such is now the Duke's condition that he misconstrues all that you have done.
I thank you, madame. I pray you tell me this. Which of the two were daughter of the Duke that was here at the wrestling?
Oh, the smaller is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke. Sir, fare you well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
I rest you much bonden. Fare you well. Heavenly Rosalind.
Why, cousin? Why, Rosalind? Cupid have mercy, not a word? Is it possible? On such a sudden that you should fall into so strong a liking with old Sir Rowland's youngest son?
I mean, the Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensue that you should love his son dearly? With this kind of chase, I should hate him, for my father hated his father dearly.
Yay! I hate not Orlando.
No, faith, hate him not for my sake.
Look, here comes the Duke.
With his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our court.
Me, uncle?
You, cousin, within these 10 days, if thou beest found within 20 miles of our public court, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace, let me know the knowledge of my fault. Bear with me.
Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not. Thou art thy father's daughter, and that is enough.
But so was I when your highness took his dukedom, and so was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. My father was no traitor.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else she with her father had arranged along.
I did not entreat to have her stay. It was your own pleasure and your own remorse.
Thou art a fool. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time on mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? I charge thee, be not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not. My pretty, be cheerful. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No. Let my father seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, where to go, and what to bring with us.
Why? Where shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger would it be to us maids as we are to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I put myself in poor and mean attire, the like do you. Therefore, shall we go and never stir a sail?
Oh, but we're not better, because I am more than the common tall. That I did suit me all points like a man.
What shall I call you when thou art a man?
Oh, I'll have no worse name than Jove's own page. Therefore, look, you call me Ganymede.
Oh!
What will you be called?
Something that hath reference to my state, no longer Celia, but Adriana.
Oh, but cousin, what if we essay to steal the clownish fool from your father's court? Would he have that comfort in our travel?
He'll go along the o'er-wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Therefore, devise with me the fittest time and safest way to hide from flight that will be made once we leave. Therefore, let us go. In liberty. Not to banishment.
Can it be possible that no man saw them? It cannot be. Some villain is in my court, and are of consent of sufferance in this.
I do not know of any that did see her. My lord, the Roynish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter
and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the sinew Charles. And they believe wherever they are gone, that youth is surely in their company.
Send to his brother. I'll make him find him.
Who's there?
Unhappy youth, come not within these doors. Within this roof, the enemy of all your graces lives. Your brother hath heard of your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off.
Why, whither, Adam? Wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you not come here.
Wouldst thou have me go and beg my food, or with a base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road?
But do not so, I have 500 crowns. Here is the gold. Let me be your servant.
Oh, good old man, how well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world. But come thy ways, we'll go along together, and ere we'll have thy youthful wages spent, we'll lay upon some settled though content.
Master, go on. I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty.
Oh, Jupiter! How weary are my spirits!
I care not for my spirits if my legs were not weary.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I had rather bear you than bear with you. Yet I should bear no cross if I did bear you, for I think you have no money in your purse.
Well, this is the Forest of Arden.
Now am I in Arden, the more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
Aye, be so, good Touchstone. Look who comes here. A young woman and an old and solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corn, that thou knowest how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I loved her now.
No, Corn, being old, thou canst not guess. How many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, thou didst never love so heartily. If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that ever love did make thee run into, thou hast never loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all. Fair sir, I pity her, but I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. Besides, his coat, his flocks, and bounds of feed are now on sale, and at our sheepcote now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing that you will feed on. Assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Go with me.
under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. More, I prithee, more. My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. Come, more, another stanza. Call you on stanzas?
What you will, Madame Jackie.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself. Who doth ambition shun
and loves to live in the sun,
seeking the food he eats
and pleased with what he gets.
Come hither, come hither. Come hither.
Oh, I'll give you a verse to this note that I made yesterday, in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
Thus it goes. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, Duke Dame, Duke Dame. Here shall he see, gross fools is he, and if he will come to me, yeah,
What's that, Duke Dame?
Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go sleep if I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll get the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Oh, I die for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave.
Why, how now, Adam? No greater heart in thee? Hold death a while at arm's end. Come, I will bear thee to some shelter, and thou now shalt not die for lack of dinner, if there live anything in this desert.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a world is this that your good friends must rue your company? What, you look merrily?
A fool, a fool. I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool, a miserable world.
What fool is this?
Oh, worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier. Oh, that I were a fool. I am ambitious for a motley coat.
And you shall have one. But who comes here?
Forbear and eat no more,
Why, I have eaten none yet.
nor shall not to necessity be served.
Young man, your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost died for food, and let me have it.
Sit and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently. Pardon me, I pray you. I thought all things here were savage, and therefore put I on the countenance of stern commandment. If your eyelids ever wiped a tear, and knows what 'tis to be pitied, for gentleness of my enforcement, in which I hope I blush and hide my sword.
And true it is that we have seen better days, and therefore sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have, that to your liking may be ministered.
There was an old, poor man with a weak, weary step and pure love. I must suffice to him first. He is quarreled by two weak evils, hunger and age. I will not take a bit.
Go, find him out. We will nothing waste until you return.
I thank you, and bless your comfort.
Now we see that we are not all alone unhappy. This wide, universal theater presents more pageantry than the scene in which we play in. Welcome, welcome. Set down your venerable burdens and let him feed.
I thank you most for him.
So had you need, I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome, fall to. I will not trouble you as to yet you question to your fortunes. Go, bring some music, and good cousin, sing.
Hi ho, sing hi ho unto the green holly. Most friendship is vain and most loving is folly. Then hi ho the holly. This life is most jolly. Yeah. Jolly, 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 jolly.
If that you were the good Sir Roland's son, if, as you have so faithfully whispered you were, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. Good old man, thou art right welcome as thy master is. Give me your hand, and let all your fortunes understand.
Not seen him since. Sir, that cannot be. Find out thy brother, wheresoe'er he is, and bring him dead or living within this 12 months, or turn thee no more to seek a living in our territory.
Oh, that your highness knew in my heart this. I never loved my brother in my life.
More villain thou.
From the east to western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. All the pictures fairly lined are but fair to Rosalind. Let no face be kept in mind but the fair of Rosalind.
For a taste. If a heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosalind. Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosalind. Sweetness not hath sourest rind. Such a nut is Rosalind. Yeah, this is the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit, bro.
Peace, I say. Here comes Adriana reading. Stand aside.
Why should this a desert be? For it is unpeopled. No. Tongues I'll hang on every tree that shall civil sayings show. But upon the fairest boughs, or at every sentence end, will I, Rosalinda, write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite heaven would in little show. Cleopatra's majesty, Atlanta's better part, sweet Lucretia's modesty, thus Rosalind of many parts, by heavenly synoid was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touches dearest prize.
Oh, most gentle Jupiter, what a tedious homily of love.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh, yes, I heard them all, and more too, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses would bear.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees? Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
The chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color?
I prithee, who? I mean, is he of God's making? What manner of man? Is his head worth a hat or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard. It is young Orlando, who tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart both in an instant.
Orlando. Alas the day! What did he when thou saw'st him? What said he? How looked he? Did he ask for me? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must borrow me gargantua's mouth first. To say aye and no to these particulars is more than to answer in a catechism.
Okay, but doth he know that I'm in this forest and dressed in man's apparel? Look he as freshly as the day he wrestled.
I found him under a tree, dropped like an acorn. There lay he stretched along like a wounded knight.
Oh, that would be a pity to see such a sight. It well becomes the ground.
Thy holla to thy tongue, I prithee. He was furnished like a hunter.
Ominous, he comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without burden, but thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know that I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. Now, sweet, say on.
You bring me out. Come see not here.
I thank you for your company.
I thank you too for your society.
I pray you more. No more trees with writing love songs in their barks. Rosalind is your love's name.
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You are full of pretty answers. The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I would not change for your best virtue.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
Glad of your departure. Adieu, good Madame Melancholy.
will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him.
Do you hear, Forster?
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, what is it o'clock?
You should ask me what time of day. There's no clocks in the forest.
Then there is no true lover in the forest, else sighing every minute and groaning every hour could detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock. There is a young man that haunts this forest with abusing our young plants with carving Rosalind on their barks. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaped.
Oh, but are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is a madness, and I profess curing it by counsel.
Have you ever cured any so?
Yes. What? And in this manner, he was to imagine me his love, his mistress, and I set him every day to woo me, which I, being but a young, moonish youth, would grieve, be changeable, effeminate, and thus I cured him.
I would not be cured youth.
But I would cure you, if you would but call me Rosalind, and come every day to my court and woo me.
Now by the faith of my love I will.
And I will show it to you. Will you go?
With all my heart could use.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
Do not talk to me, for I will weep.
Do, I prithee, but have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But why did he swear he would come this morning and he comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
But do you not think so? And no truth in love?
When he is in, I think he is not in.
But you heard him swear, downright he was.
Was is not is. He attends here in the forest on the Duke, your father.
But what talk we of dukes when there's a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He speaks brave words, writes brave verses, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. Look who comes here. Oh.
Mistress and master, you have oft inquired after the shepherd that complained of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, and what of him?
Go hence a little, and I shall conduct you if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove. Bring us to this sight, and you shall say, I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Ah!
Oh, say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. Thou tellest me there is murder in mine eye. 'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now, I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes could wound, now let them kill thee. But now mine eyes which I have darted at thee hurt thee not, nor is there no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, dear Phoebe, if ever as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, when shall you know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make?
But till that time, come not thou near me.
Why, what means this? Why do you look at me? Oh, odds, my little life. I think she means to entangle my eyes, too. No faith, proud mistress. Hope not for it. For is not your inky brow, or your black silk hair, or your bugle eyeballs, or your cheek of cream that could entame my spirits to your worship. Oh, you foolish shepherd, wherefore dost thou follow her?
Sweet youth, I pray you chide a year together. I rather hear you chide than this man woo.
Why look you so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me. Besides, I like you not. Come, sister, will you go? Shepherd, ply her hard, and shepherdess, look on her better, and be not so proud. Ugh.
Dead shepherd, I find thy saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight?
Sweet Phoebe!
Ah, what sayest thou, Sylvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, sweet, gentle Sylvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my griefs in love, by giving love your sorrow and my grief were both extermine.
Thou hast my love, is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Why, that were covetedness. Sylvius, the time was that I hated thee, but since thou canst talk of love so well, thy company I will endure. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed. Knowest thou the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I have seen him oft. He hath bought the cottage in the bounds that the old Carlet was once master of.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. It is a pretty youth. Not very pretty, but sure he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He's not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not, and yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black and my hair black. I will write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Sylvius?
Phoebe, all my heart.
I'll write it straight. Go with me, Sylvius.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while?
My fair Rosalind, I had come within an hour of my promise.
But break an hour's promise in love?
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Come, woo me, for I am now in holiday humor, and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now, were I your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you better speak first, and when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss.
How if the kiss be denied?
Well, then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins a new matter.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Yes, faith will I Friday and Saturdays and all. So how long would you have her after you've possessed her?
Forever and a day. For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner by 2 o'clock. I will be with thee again.
Aye, go your ways, go your ways. 2 o'clock is your hour.
Aye, sweet Rosalind. Adieu.
Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex in your love prate. You should have your doublet and hose plucked over your head and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Cuz, my sweet little cuz, if only you knew how many fathoms deep I am in love. Oh, I tell thee, Adriana, I cannot be out of sight from Orlando. I think I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he come, and I'll sleep.
If the scorn of your bright eyne have power to raise such love in mine, alack, in me what strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whiles you chid me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to the little knows this love in me. And by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
How say you now? Is it not past 2 o'clock? And here much Orlando.
Where were you? With troubled brain and love, he hath taken his bow and arrow and gone forth to sleep. Look who comes here.
It bears an angry tenor. Pardon me. I am but as a guiltless messenger.
She says that I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud, and that she could not love me. Her love is not the hair do harm, so why writes she so to me? She thieves me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Can a woman rail thus?
Oh, call you this railing?
Did you ever hear such railing, meaning me, a beast?
Call you this chiding?
Alas, poor shepherd. Say this to her, that if she loves me, I charge her to love thee. If she will not have you, I will never have her unless thou entreat for her. So, you'll be a good lover. Hence, here comes more company.
Good morrow. Wherefore in this forest lies a sheepcot fenced about with olive trees?
West of this place, but at this time the house doth keep itself, there's none within.
Are you not the owner of the house I did inquire for?
It is no boast being asked to say that we are.
Orlando doth commend unto you both. And for that youth he calls his Rosalind, he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am, but what must we understand by this?
Pray you tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left with a promise to return again. Within the hour, and pacing through the forest, he threw his eye aside and marked what object did present itself. A wretched, ragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lies sleeping on his back into a bush, under which bush's shade a lioness lay couching, head on ground, with cat-like watch when that the sleeping man should stir. This seen, Orlando did approach the man and found it was his brother, his elder brother. Twice did he turn his back, and purposed so, but kindness, nobler ever than revenge, did make him do battle to the lioness. And from miserable slumber I awakened.
Are you his brother?
Was it you he rescued? Was it you who so oft contrived to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I.
But for the bloody napkin.
By and by, committing myself unto my brother's love, who led me swiftly into his cave, he disrobed, and here, on his arm, the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled, and now he has fainted. In fainting, he called upon his Rosalind, the broken promise, and to give this bloody napkin doth he call his Rosalind.
Oh, how now, Danny Mead?
Many will swoon at the sight of blood.
There's more in it. Cousin Danny Mead.
He recovers.
I would I were at home.
We'll lead you thither.
Be good of cheer. You lack a man's heart.
I do so. I confess it, but please, I pray you, tell your brother how well I counterfeited.
This was no counterfeit. There's too much testimony in your complexion that this was a passion of earnest.
You look paler and paler. Pray you draw homewards. Good sir, will you go with us?
That I will, for I must bear answer back. How will you excuse my brother, Rosalind?
I will devise something. Will you go?
"'Tis possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her."
Neither call the giddiness of it in question, nor her sudden consenting. But say with me, I love Adriana, and say with her that she love me. Consent with us both that we may enjoy each other.
You have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and his contented followers. Go you and prepare Adriana. For here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother!
And you, fair sister,
Show the letter that I writ to you.
Look upon her, love her, she worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this sweet youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of passion, and all made of wishes, and so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
I pray you, no more of this. I will satisfy you, if I've ever satisfied any man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you, if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. as you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. So, fare you well. I've left no commands. I pray you.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I, nor
I.
Dost thou believe the boy can do all that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe, and sometimes I don't. As those that fear they hope, and know they fear.
I have promised to make all these matters even. Keep you your word, O Duke, to give your daughter, and you yours, Orlando, to receive her. Keep you your word, Phoebe, that you'll marry me, or else refuse to marry the shepherd. And keep you your word, Silvius, that you'll marry her if she refuses me. And from hence I go, to make all these doubts even.
Good Duke, receive thy daughter, that thou mightest join her hand with his, whose heart within his bosom is.
To you I give myself, for I am yours. And to you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then, my love, adieu.
I'll have no father if you not be he, and I'll have no husband if you not be he, nor ne'er wed woman if you not be she.
You and you, no cross shall part. You and you are heart and heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. Whiles a wedlock hymn we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason wander may diminish. How thus we met, then these things finish.
It is not fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the lord the prologue. 'Tis true that a good play needs no epilogue, but a good play is made better by the use of a good epilogue. My will is to charge you hence. O women, for the love you bear to men, take as much as the play as pleases you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, which I perceive none of them hate you by your simpering. That is between you and the women of the play. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you that had good beards, complexions I liked, or breasts that I defied not. And for my will, I will kiss thee with good faces, or good beards, or sweet breath.